Hello, hello. That's my 22 Talon. And for it, I got a box of Injector Dynamics. I put a thing over the label, but you can still see through it. Anyways, I want to unbox this. This is the fuel rail that Injector Dynamics made for the Talon. They have a whole side-by-side line of fuel injection parts and everything for it. So I just got this from Paul Yaw. And I want to see what's in the box. This is the most professional unboxing video yet. All right. This is the, oh my God, that's so cute. That's the fuel rail. Look how little that thing is. If you don't know, the Honda Talon 1000X is a two-cylinder. It's an inline two-cylinder, which is really interesting, which means it's technically an odd-fire engine, I would think. Yeah. And, all right, so here's our parts baggie. We got some adapters for the fuel injectors. I haven't taken it apart yet, so I don't know if this is for taking on top of the factory injector to go inside of their fuel rail, or if this is the other way around for their fuel rails, or if they're in fuel injectors, or what. We'll find out in a while. Let's see. I assume OE2 means for the OE injectors. Probably the OE adapters for the injectors. That is my assumption. So this here is the fuel pressure regulator that they designed that attaches to the rail. Now, Paul and I were talking, and he was saying, you know, you can use it as a regulator or a damper. And, I mean, that makes total sense. I often wonder why people don't do that. This thing is really sharp normally. I should use my camera stand, huh? Oh. Got that thing in the box, and we'll go through it. All right. Bag of zip ties. Bag of zip ties. Those are good for holding fuel lines in place. Here's the fuel line they got. It has -6 on both ends, a 90 and a straight. I don't put that in the box, so I'll get rid of it. Here are fittings. This is typically a hard rail fitting to adapt a hard, like a 5/16 fuel rail into a -6. It can also be used sometimes for ethanol content analyzers. I don't know what this one's for yet, or what part of the kit it is. This is a -6 adapter that usually screws in the end of the rail, and this little guy is a plug. Yeah, it looks like a -6 plug, potentially for this guy. Yeah, I'm thinking that's what that is. Absolutely. All right. This is by far the best unboxing video you've ever seen. Just want to make sure that you knew that. I really needed my gimbal. All right, so unwrap this guy. Now, with these parts, I don't want to get crap in them. And unfortunately, my shop is a complete pigsty. So much so that I'm not even going to pan the camera around and show you how bad it is. It's embarrassingly bad. But I do want to look at this regulator a little closer. All right, so here it is. Here's the regulator that they made to attach to their rail. Top nipple for vacuum reference. You see the top of this looks very similar to fuel pressure dampers that you may have seen, or OEM regulators. And that's because construction-wise, they're essentially the same damn thing. You just need a chamber and a spring that goes down to a diaphragm, and the diaphragm attaches to a disc and seat inside of here. And what you do is you feed manifold reference pressure into here, and that will cause a disc to move up and down against the spring pressure and the fuel pressure that's pushing on it. And that's how you would control fuel pressure. But also, if you don't have, if you just plug one side of it, whichever side is the axis, I think you plug this side here, then what you have is a damper. It would just bounce up and down. I say bounce, that's not really a good term. I should say it would cycle up and down to increase or decrease the volume in the fuel rail system to compensate for pressure variations. So like a high pressure wave would come in and it would push against the seat and diaphragm, and it would move up some, therefore reducing the strength of that pulsation. And then a low pressure wave might be in there and it would discharge to compensate for the low pressure wave. So this would act as a damper or a regulator based on if you have it plugged or not. All right, well that is pretty fancy. That's the rail here. All right, here's the bottom of the rail. Mount, mount, injector, injector, mount, mount. This looks pretty nice. Fuel rail. Okay, so I don't see a provision for mounting the regulator to the rail, but I could be totally missing it. Yeah, I don't see anything like that with this. I know that the 4-cylinder ones, like the Polaris and a couple others, the regulator mounts to the rail. I'm not seeing that on here. And that's threaded, and that's threaded. I don't see any mounting screws or tabs on this. I don't think this one is made to mount to the rail. Regardless, it's a good looking little piece. And if I had a nipple or a dual nail, like this guy right here, if I had this on both sides, I could mount it to the rail. Actually, this one would probably still work. If I put an O-ring on this side, sometimes you can do that. You can stick an O-ring up here and it'll seal. It's not the correct way to do it, but you can do it. And you can thread this in the rail and this in the regulator and it would work. In some situations you can do that. Like I said, it's not ideal though. I don't recommend it. So my guess is, looking at this, is that they have the regulator or damper, plug it to damp it, route it in to be the regulator. So I would go from the vehicle, use the adapter. Where'd the adapter go? Here we go. Probably this hardline adapter. Probably from the supply. Flexible line to the rail. Then from the rail to the regulator, regulator back to the tank if you're doing a return style. But I don't know if these are return style. I think these are deadhead. Unless that there is actually for making a return style. That is a pretty long line. Boy, I can't see much in there, can we? No, I can't see much in there right now. I have to take this one apart someday. Oh, I can just see the fuel line up on top. I'll have to remove the bed skin here and get a better view on it. I'll do that in a different video. In the meantime, though, I just wanted to show you guys the Talon. I did some mirrors. I did the windshield. Did a mirror up there. And that's it so far. Oh, I did the bed thing. Those are some factory screws. This thing came missing screws. I was really surprised, but there were empty screw holes in this piece here. And there were a handful of the push rivets that were missing from this thing too. I was really surprised. Also, this hinge was adjusted wrong and the door rattled like crazy. And the door stuck out in the back past the body line of the front of the rear door. So I had to adjust that hinge. I do a lot of little things, actually, kind of tune it up that I feel should have been done from the factory. One of the changes for 22 is they just put regular old halogen lights in here. The 20, or the 19 and 20, and I think 21 has the LED lights, which appeared to contain a blinker too, but this just has that. It's a good size reflector. There's a lot of room in there. Let's see if we can. It's a good size reflector. So I kind of want to put projectors in it. I think I'm gonna get some projector retrofit kits, open the lenses up, put projectors in it, so I have super bright lights without adding a bunch of stuff to bars and all of that. I do want to add lights to it, but I just want these to work well. And they're just a little yellow, and they're pretty dim. They function, but barely. So I'm gonna do a projector retrofit kit in it. I think it'll look nice, and I think it'll work better. It's a good start. And then I'm gonna do the heater because it is cold outside. Anyways, that's it. If you have any questions about the kit or what is involved in installing it, feel free to ask and comment below. I will do a follow-up video when I actually go to install it, and I'll have lots of videos about the turbo kit that I'm designing and all that fun stuff. Air water intercooler. I might even do my own heater, honestly. There are some decent market offerings, but I see some holes in the designs. I think I can make something that works pretty good. But that's also just a lot of R&D time. I don't always have a lot of time for that. But that being said, that's all I have for you today. Thank you very much, and have a good evening.